This episode of Capes and Lunatics is brought to you by Tweaked Audio. Get awesome headphones, go to tweakedaudio.com and use the coupon code Southgate to get 30% off, free shipping, and a lifetime warranty. Or you can get there through the link on our website, southgatemediagroup.com.
Recording has started.
And that's the world-famous theme song that gets everyone hyped and excited about comic books, movies, television, and whatever else we happen to talk about here on Superconnectivity. I am your host, Charlie, the Professor Esser. And with me, as always, is my evil twin.
What is it? Phil, me, and Perich.
My better-looking evil twin. We'll say that much.
Could that be possible?
Well, you know he's evil because he doesn't have facial hair. That's the thing. We always thought that Spock was evil with the facial hair. But what if he was actually the good one all along? Those Vulcans. I don't trust them. Okay. Moving right along.
They're green blood.
Yeah, I got very mad recently. And even though it's stuff I've said myself a few times, I did not like Matt Pat's recent assessment that the Federation was fascist. The Green Lanterns are fascists, don't get me wrong. But I did not feel the Federation was fascist, expressly because the Federation does have opposing political views and things like that. And I basically felt, I was critical of him in his comment section on YouTube. But not that anyone cared or read it, because I'm sure there were always a lot of people saying, "How dare you say that about my beloved Federation?" No. But, no, well, I made the point that you have to understand that in a post-want society, concepts of economics have to take on a completely different perspective of meaning, you know? And, and totally overlook the fact that, that because you're seeing it through this perspective of this paramilitary organization called Starfleet, yes, they have a lot of rules and strictures for Starfleet, but that's not the United Federation. That's Starfleet. That is the military branch of it. Militaries are, by their nature, somewhat top-down structure, and much like any nautical, you can maroon someone on a desert island if you're a captain of a ship because you want to. That doesn't mean that's the way it works in society writ large. Okay, but that's a whole other thing. That's just a little thing about Matt Pat and how I had my falling out with him this week that no one cared about. Big news. Okay, I want to open with this because to me, this was the biggest news this week. Marvel Comics 1000.
Oh, nice.
And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm picking up Marvel Comics 1001. When does that come out? Is that next week or is that next month?
I don't think it's next week. But I will look for you.
Yeah. Well, I only say that. Oh, actually, it says tomorrow, not next week. Okay, yeah. The last page says tomorrow. What happens? Yeah, I'm going to get Marvel Comics 1001 because I am super hyped for this new era, this golden age of Marvel Comics. I got the cover with Howard the Duck on it, And,
yes, next month it's September 25th.
Okay, I cannot wait. Oh, man, we won't get to talk about it.
Not when we're in person now.
No, we'll have to do that the next time. Unless someone wants to send us an advanced copy, Marvel. If you want that hype train started.
Anybody want stuff reviewed on our live show when we're all together? Yeah, send us some. Copies.
Yeah. Now, wasn't there supposed to be an essay by Mark Waid in this thing?
I
know there was one that got cut, but I thought they replaced it with another one. But I didn't. Oh. Dang it, is that it? Did I completely miss it?
Was that Captain America page, or was it? I mean, there's a few pages with text.
Yeah, that's it. You know what? Oh my gosh, these two pages stuck together. I missed them. Yeah. I missed the Mark Waid review, the Mark Waid thing, and Fight for Love with America Vasquez, 1943. Man, See, I was wondering, man, well, they didn't even mention Miss America in this, and yet she was right there. Yeah, see, I guess the loop. And then I jumped right to Hellcat, and I missed. Oh! Now I got to go back and read these 2 pages. Yeah, 2 pages.
I mean, Wade's was like, the one that's in there now is basically it's like is speaking as Captain America, saying why he fights for American stuff, and I think it wasn't the last one. Basically pointing out what's wrong with our country right now.
Although, well, no, actually, from what I read, here's the thing. Well, and not for nothing, this is how you know we're dealing with a proto-fascist regime right now. Because disagreement with the state is labeled unpatriotic. Which is not true, because when the Tea Party was saying, we need revolution, we need da-da-da-da-da-da-da, no one said they were unpatriotic. They, in fact, patriots said, hey, look, I may not agree with everything they say. I don't think their economic theories work very well, but I do believe that, they have this right, that the right to redress your government is sacrosanct.
Isn't that the responsibility of everyone living in a democracy, is to call out the government on their crap when they pull their crap?
All governments, every government deserves to have the voice of the people. And again, this is why, tie back to my first rant, why Starfleet why the Federation isn't fascist, because they have free speech. They have freedom of assembly. You have the right to gather with your friends, to speak out against the government, to present to the world what you think is flawed or failed. And that's what makes a society free. Do you think somebody upstairs got scared because they're just like, nobody's comics are selling that hot these days? They're just like, let's not take the chance on alienating anyone, no matter. Well, I mean, what I'm going to actually say on this, and why I think it might have been throughout this book, and this was my real point on it, this book is implicitly, they even call the original operative, the first guy in the Golden Age to wear the black mask, well, depending on how you count it, probably a socialist, they actually, the entire crux of this is, it is up to we all to put on our black masks of anti-fascism to tear down those in power who seek to oppress us. That is the theme throughout this. Everything else about this is about empowerment of the people, about the superhero mystique and the mythos. That even with Roberto making that point about black masks, and also the idea, I think that faceless vigilantes, dispensing justice. That this is who the heroes are, and and then also about the Eastern and the Western ideals of the black mask signal in Western culture signifies the villain, whereas in Eastern culture that actually signifies, in what he said in Kabuki theater, I think that it emphasizes a person of standing and respect. And yes.
I was going to say, we've talked to Mark Wade before. I wonder if I reach out to him if we'd be able to get a copy of that essay. But because I'm just like, maybe the rest of this maybe they thought it was too subtle. So I would love to know how on the nose Wade's was, that they were like, oh no, we can't put this in here.
Yeah, well, and I get, and not for nothing, I get the idea that you always want your statements to be implicit, not necessarily explicit, because when you get explicit, it ages the conversation. As an example, everyone who called George W. Bush a fascist Nazi looks kind of silly now that we actually have, now that we have actual fascist Nazis marching in the street. It's like, oh, okay. Maybe George W. Bush wasn't that bad. He was objectively bad as a president. Don't get us wrong. But but as I always said about George W. Bush, his administration was probably about as corrupt as Grant's, and Grant's on the 50s. So, it's like we honor all kinds of people that maybe are not the best people to honor in our American history. But no, this black mass concept, which express power is to make all men equal. That all are equal in the eyes of eternity. And you cannot come to a man that when he has the mask of eternity on, he will be your equal. And of course, framing that in the context of Camelot, which, well, we think about as this idealized golden reign of the good King Arthur, as we know from other mythos that has become part of the canon, was kind of a messed up Peyton place of corruption and, stolen power and yada, yada, yada. And all at the end about imperial power and about the urge of people to stand up against bullies.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what the superhero is about the powerless retaking their power, And what makes Marvel Comics great is that you don't need an alien from beyond the stars to do it. You can do it. You have the power to change the world, to save the world in a million different ways every day. The world outside your window, man.
Heck yes.
Yeah, and I don't know, man. Like I said, I love this theme of the Black Mask, which is obviously going to become a whole deal. Some really great art throughout this, by the way. I have never really wanted art in my house as an adult, except for like stuff that's like pictures of family or pictures my kids make. But man, I do want this. The armored. Yeah. I want that poster, lovingly framed on my wall. I'll take my money, Marvel.
And you're not. There's other characters you like more than Iron Man, but yeah,
I know. Well, it's just the idea about disassembling until there's nothing. It's kind of an interesting idea to me. I don't know. I like how they tie the idea of the Scientist Guild from 8 bells. 8 bells, right on time, friends. That Scientist Guild, and then we get to the 3 X's, who apparently are now the Enclave, who made, and then also I think the suggestion is that they were behind Adam 2, as well as, of course, eventually him. Which is awesome.
But there's pretty much something in here for every Marvel fan. Just you. There was a page towards the front with Hellcat. We get we get a page honoring Howard the Duck being released as a movie in 1986.
Yes. Which was another thing I loved about this is how much they are tying it back to their cinematic worlds, and again, like I say, not just the official MCU, but even when Deadpool gets released, they actually make a point to not so much talking about the X-Men, but Fantastic Four releases we're not going to talk about, but yes.
Well, too, they do have control over that X-Men and Deadpool stuff now too.
Yeah, I know, but I just thought it was neat to say we respect, even from our competitors, when the art is good.
Yeah.
And so they did give a special point out for that. And oh, by the way, I love the Council of Lokis. These are all the many things I loved in this book.
That's what I was going to say to you. Yeah, to honor the 1952's debut of Journey in the Mystery. Yeah, we get the Lokis.
Yep. You can escape. We got a Gorilla Man, and man, I'm mad I'm not reading the Avengers because I know that there was like a heel turn for Hale in one episode, and then I don't know what else it is. I like how the mask doesn't work for the Enclave. I love you getting all this little backstory here. Oh yeah, the last heist with the operative there, where he explicitly calls him out as a communist. But you know what? You want to speak truth to power, so I'm going to give you the ultimate mask. And as he says to him, you won't even notice it because you're pretty much the match of anyone that's out there right now anyway. So the amount of edge it's going to give you. But if there had been a Hulk, he would have said, "Wow, how am I holding my own against the Hulk? Oh, I guess this mask is magic." Got a nice little bit about Red Wolf. Oh, I miss Red Wolf. Oh, Red Wolf and the Deadly Nighthawk, man. Why do they not have ongoing, man? And again, and this is again one of my favorites, Doom vs. Iron Man.
Oh yeah,
it really shocked me that Doom had not fought Iron Man until 1981. That's the first time someone said these two should fight.
I guess I can't remember. But I do know that was like a big thing. Is like they both had like a big time travel thing in Iron Man 150.
Yeah, but we see that in this, Dr. Doom gets the MacGuffin, and Tony Stark defeated, goes home to all his friends, and at least has happiness, and Doctor Doom, Doom alone, as we see later. Doom alone. Yeah, they reference Speedball in this, which I also, again, to me, just that Speedball gets that little reference. It's just, I remember Speedball, man. I remember so many things. I was a big Speedball collector, man. I loved that book. And they got David F. Walker, the great David F. Walker, talking about how every single story Luke Cage ever told, Joseph has to go about, remember that time Dr. Doom owed me money? And this is a shocking bury of the lead that the original Patriot is back.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, man, that happened offhand. I was like, oh well, glad you're back in our dimension again. You know,
I mean, unless like, they just that was just for here, yeah.
Yeah, well, no, I kind of feel like everything that we see in this is meant to be canon.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anything in this is meant to be outside of canon. You know, it's even our first mainstream Marvel discussion of Mr. Miracle, Miracle Man.
Yeah,
formerly Marvel Man. Yeah, you know, it is interesting. You know, oh look, Neil Gaiman wrote this one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. So many great artists in this, so many great writers, and there's Doom Alone. Doom Alone knows what it means to be a pretentious jerk. Back up a little bit. You know what I didn't realize? Hercules was the first one to get a miniseries at Marvel.
That's what they say. Yeah.
Yeah, in 1982.
And apparently, it was set in the far-flung future.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you didn't read it? I would have been sure you read. I would have thought you read that.
Oh, when it first came out? No, I wasn't a big Hercules fan until the Incredible Hercules with Amadeus Cho. You know. Yeah, really, I was never in. Really, I was strictly, you know, Fantastic Four, Captain America. You know, I had like 2 or 3 books that in Marvel Saga. Of course, Marvel Saga was my bread and butter as a kid. But you know, yeah, and Conan. Of course, I always read the Conan comics. You know, the actual, not the big black and whites, the little color ones. You know, for the kids, which I was, so I liked those.
But I mean, we got more than one page with Deadpool. But yeah, that 2016 one for the, you know, when the first movie comes out, I love the 9-panel grid. He even mentions the 9-panel grid, and then the last panel was like, oh wait, this is the last panel, okay, and he like stops all with the last panel.
Yeah, you know, he's great, and I liked Peter David's bit. I've said enough.
Yes. Yeah, that was like from his. That's like the gag he had going on in that last. Well, they even pull it out. I love how they're like Incredible Hulk ends with issue 474. Like they didn't reboot it. It's like, oh, you know, they make it sound like oh, it never came back again. Yeah, okay.
Well, you know what? That was the end of his. So
they were looking for something for 1999.
Yeah, well, that's okay. Hey, you know, and I love that he has Betty Benner's ashes on his shelf. Just thinking, I killed her. She's still dead. This I love this too. Elsa Bloodstone, and this is what I say about is like super canon aspect of it. Is Elsa is now taking care of Jeff because we saw that Jeff isn't in the new Deadpool Strikes Back series. So,
oh yes, because that page was written by Kelly Thompson. Yes.
So I love you know, so many great things. Yeah, I mean just. Everything around here is pretty great. And then, like I said, we have this constant storyline going on about this Black Mask with the Dark Raider or the Black Raider.
The Masked Raider, it says.
The Masked Raider, yes. But I think, is it called the Masked Raider? Yeah, the Mask, yes. So we get our big return and the Raider.
Yep.
Which, again, the Two Guns has the Two Gun Kid's gun, which, of course, they referenced earlier, or was that in this, or was it? No, that was actually in the History of the Marvel Universe, where they make the point that the aging Two-Gun Kid is the one who inspired the Angel to become a superhero.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean that's just great stuff.
But what about that end credit page? You know, the one that says tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
The Enclave thinks it's a good idea to try to bring Korvac back. Okay.
Well, that's the question I had there. Are they bringing Korvac back, or are they inventing Korvac?
Oh,
because I kind of figured that this is sort of their own. They have created the Korvac in this storyline. Because Korvac's a time-traveling concept, you know?
I know, but I thought it was aliens who had created Korvac.
Well, yeah, but maybe the aliens just recreated Korvac.
I don't know. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
I didn't know if they just like found them or like trying to reactivate them. I'm like, yeah, that's a good idea. That's not a good idea.
No, it would not be a good idea. That is a poor idea. But you know what? If the Enclave were smart, they wouldn't try to control the world with the mask that is supposed to make all men equal. You know, as they say, well, probably our problem is that we're trying to take over the world, and the mask always fights against kings. So, so that might be why we're why it doesn't want to work for us, Well, this will make us, the merging of all of our intellects. No, it just makes you the equal to any person in the room, and you're all pretty smart, so you're not going to notice it. As they say, It doesn't do anything unless there's a difference. And what I thought was fascinating is it kind of reminds me in its own way of the Captain America villain, Everyman. Which was that during Wade's Captain America?
What? Korvac?
No, Everyman.
Oh, Everyman. No. That was back in the 80s.
Was that Grunwald's Captain America? I don't know.
Was that J.M. DeMatteis?
Maybe. You know me, I don't know the writers. But I loved Everyman as a character. I love when they actually brought him back like a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
They have him have the Absorpcan, which he saw as sort of giving him the power of his fellow man and again, about making every man equal. And of course, fearing the powerful. And that, of course, is what we're always talking about here is there is the powerful that we're seeking to rail against, because if too much power becomes too centralized, like in the Illuminati, bad things happen to good people. And, the hero is the one who fights against that. So
yeah, Captain America 267, written by J.M. DeMatteis.
Okay, yeah. That's the first appearance of Everyman, who, again, he's always played as this kind of mentally ill guy. He's actually like Reed Richards, Dutch nephew.
That's what I was going to say. Didn't he have a connection to Reed Richards? I remember there was an issue of team up or something. Yeah.
Yep, Marvel team up. And that also, he was, because in that one he's actually being manipulated by the Grand Master, which was, of course, 1950s Captain America. Who, and the Grand Master and what's his name? Faustus. Yeah, Faustus. Faustus is always up to no good. But yeah, I mean, I just love that, and I love the fact that they are taking it in this interesting way, and kind of also maybe even saying, when you say, individual judges, dispensing vigilante justice, that doesn't always sound like a good idea, but maybe sometimes it's necessary. Mm-hmm. Which goes to the old biblical idea behind the judges from the Book of Judges, for those who are fans of, some really great, gory, sexy stories from the Bible. Can't go wrong with the Book of Judges. Okay, I'm the only guy who reads the adventure, the comic book part of the Bible. Okay. But that's where you get Samson, that's where you get Deborah, you get several other people. But basically the ideas are of these superheroes in the Bible. Well, not all superheroes. Some are actually just kind of prophets who are saying, stop doing that, you're being bad. But often it is a case where, sometimes it's like, okay, stop doing that because I'm going to crush your heads. So, the idea was that in ancient Israel, when there were no kings, because we do not wish to be like other nations, we want no kings, that in order to enforce the law, every so often a hero would rise when people were being evil and smack them around and stop all the evilness, and then go back and do whatever they did before then, because, I don't need to be a hero all the time. You guys know not to be evil, I told you, so we're going to call it a day. Yes. Again, going back to ancient Israeli folklore to give us our inspiration for modern comic books. It's all connected, man.
Why are you waiting? Why are you waiting? Why are we not talking She-Hulk yet?
Because I was just getting to it, and I actually wanted to do Justice League Dark, but I see that you put She-Hulk first.
Wait.
But that's good. We'll talk She-Hulk. And I'm not waiting. I'm trying to... First off, there was so much going on in Marvel Comics 1000.
Oh, yeah.
It deserves a lot of the praise, and there's all these connections and all these wonderful things I loved about it. But yeah, so in this one, basically, She-Hulk wakes up in the body of Machine Smith? What? And then we find out that basically you get the implication, her mind has been transferred into it because Reed Richards is making backups of all the Avengers' minds. Which is kind of spooky in its own way, because it's kind of like, what exactly do you think is so crazy that you're going to need a backup of our mind?
Ask Spider-Man.
Yeah, we couldn't clone you and stick these brains in you. And it's like, don't know if that's the case, man. And by the way, much love for She-Hulk in Marvel Comics 1000.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. And then I love just the wonderful legal dueling of super law in the superhuman universe, where Machine Smith's trying to get his dog back. We find out, and then that's what makes him mad at She-Hulk, of course, obviously, because she won't help him to get his dog back. So when Bullseye says, "I need someone to kill me, so I can get the million and some odd dollars," they do the whole thing. They do the quick mind swapperoonie, and then as you see her sitting there in the chair, he says, "Well, I'll just keep a copy of her as well." Mm-hmm. And you think that means that he put his copy in the machine, but actually, as we see as the story goes on, and they sort of work to get to the same place and get to the fight, we see that as and of course, Machine Smith, no match for She-Hulk in this. When She-Hulk, or when Bullseye in She-Hulk's body knocks Bullseye down, the little headpiece falls off of Bullseye, and then he thinks he's Bullseye, but She-Hulk still thinks she's Bullseye. Mm-hmm. Because as Machine Smith was telling him, "I'm not going to put your brain in another body. I'm going to overwrite the body with your memories. Mm-hmm. It's still going to be you in there. You're still going to be in yours, but you're going to think you're the other person. And, you're going to think you're me," actually, is what he says. And then the other person will still think they're you. And then you realize this with the robot Jen. And I had figured that out, obviously, that when it all came down to it, the robot Jen knew just what to do to save everyone, and takes it off, and then sad, just a brain in a jar, but she saved Jen. And of course, Jen does she does agree to defend Machine Smith, gets him his dog back, but then says, "And now, since he actually is himself, he is liable for all that damage he caused." Yeah. And then Machine Smith gives Jen a copy of herself in a little flash drive, which I don't know if that's beautiful or horrifying or what, but certainly interesting. Mm-hmm. But actually, Banner had his brain put into a little drone, and that because that accompanied him when he was doing the whole time travel storyline a while ago. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah.
But
that was the Banner brain, not the Hulk brain.
Yeah, it was a good story, good art, and it proved Charlie Esser right that you can't transfer minds; you just overwrite them.
Yeah, there are like I said, I think when Doom does it, he's actually exchanging souls. So I think there's a magical component to that.
Oh yeah, Doom always has magic involved. Yeah,
and I think that maybe when if Xavier puts his mind in your body, I think you get kicked out. I think that's no, I'm Xavier, I'm taking over. But yeah, so I think there are exceptions to that rule. But generally speaking, like when we talk about the Superior Spider-Man, mm-hmm. that is a clone of Peter Parker's brain with the overwritten memories of Superior Spider-Man, which were Otto's memories overwritten on top of Peter's memories. So he's always going to be this amalgam, which is why he is a hero now. Mm-hmm. And you don't even have to have this argument about, well, was he crazy before? Was he crazy after? Although, again, man, it all ties back to Marvel 3000 and when Peter first gets his powers and he calls up Otto at Columbia. Trying to find that one, but, where he's saying, yeah, I seem to have all the powers of a spider. He says, really? Do you have 8 legs? It's well, no, just a normal amount. And do you shoot, do you have silk coming from your abdomen? He's like, no, nothing like that. It's just like, I don't think you're a spider then. It don't seem like you have any spidery qualities. Yeah, it's interesting to say the least. Yeah. Oh, and I love this one too. What's your real name? I want to name my baby after you.
Oh yeah, and he says Ben.
All the kids are named Ben. Unless it actually was Ben Riley the whole time. Dun, dun, dun.
Nice.
Ben Riley, yeah. So much goodness. No, I didn't even mind the ads. There were a bunch of ads in this. I didn't care. I wasn't worried about it, man. Because the story was so good, you don't notice.
I mean, the whole book's almost like an ad. I mean, it's entertaining, but it's almost like a whole, ad. Because they even had like a page of like Star Wars that, celebrate when the first Star Wars issue came out in 1977.
Yeah. Was the first Marvel comic since the Golden Age to sell 1 million copies.
Mm-hmm.
Which was a lot of copies in 1977. That's a lot of copies now. That was even more back then, and they only cost $0.25 back then. So But okay, do you want to go to DC or do you want to do Captain America and then we'll do DC? Anything you want to talk about?
Okay, well, yeah, let's do Captain America was good.
Okay, yeah, let's talk Captain. Yeah, Cap. And again, dealing with just the complexity of his life, and I don't think Druid is Peggy Carter that we know from our universe. I definitely believe that is Peggy Carter from the universe in which she got the super soldier serum. But, just because I don't like the idea of them euthanizing her. Like, if they had kept her as old Peggy, and but like Infinity formalized her, I think that would have been fine for me. But they, intentionally made her super young again, which makes me think, there's got to be something more to this than just doing a little fan dance behind me.
How do you not see me?
Because I can see your face.
No, you can't.
Okay, anyway.
You can't see my arm.
Well, now I can. I could see your face before. But anyway, they want to go protect these migrant workers, who are being attacked by, as it turns out, the Watchdogs.
Watchdogs?
And, this is a weird thing. I know it's like still a shield, but it's also just a hard light construct.
Yeah.
Does he bounce it off stuff? Does that even work for it? Does the physics work?
I mean,
I get the idea that you want to bounce it because you want it to have that, them thinking it's going one way and then have it turn, but really you can just have it turn in the middle of, it's a video. Yeah, it's like Automan, you just turn it at a right angle. He says, can't turn it at a right angle in physics. Yes, you can if you're just a hard light construct.
Maybe they just program it to do that for Steve because he's an old man. And
by the way, and again, one of these things I'm loving right now is we've got these old school ads. Again, I'm not minding the ads because the ads are as much art as the comics are, where we get these really old school looking ads that you would have seen in the 40s for the new books coming out with Blade, Angela, Spider-Woman, and Winter Soldier in the new Strike Force. Da, 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 da. That's cool.
Okay.
Yeah, but I really like this book. I like that Steve is not comfortable with everything he has to do. And people kind of calling him out, saying, well, look, I get what you're saying that law is the law, but not so much in this case. And no matter what you want to say about the law, it is against the law to go attacking people in the middle of the night, whether they're here legally or illegally.
Yeah.
Whether they have documents or don't have documents. And as has been said recently, you could end, in fact, I saw a meme about that today. You could end illegal immigration tomorrow if you just put the guy who employs illegal immigrants in jail. Because people only come here because there's a job. And then, you can't do that whole thing. And, and of course you noticed. I'm sure other people noticed the symbolism of the Watchdogs in this. With the little triangle star and bar there. Almost as if they're trying to imply a relationship to some other group of people. Who had a bar of blue stars on or a blue bar on a red field or an orange field, depending on your perspective. Yes. So, and then you have Nick Fury facing off against the Dryad.
Yeah.
Which is cool because she takes them all out. And again, why I think she has to be super soldiered up. Because, you're taking out 3 S.H.I.E.L.D. agents and Nick Fury. And Nick Fury Jr., he does have Infinity Formula. He's Infinity Formula'd up. So, I definitely think there's more to that story than meets the eye. And she's going to have a long talk with Nick. And yeah, I mean, as I say, this Ta-Nehisi Coates guy, I think he might have a future as a writer. Definitely seems to know how to tell a narrative. I think the guy, he could go places.
Oh yeah.
I'm not saying he's David F. Walker level. I'm going to be honest there, but he's a solid writer. Marvel made a good choice letting him take on Captain America to really reinvigorate the character. Not that they don't have him in the Marvel Universe anymore. What are you thinking? You
Crazy.
hate that man. He's under contract for a freaking Johnny Storm picture.
Mm. Oh hey, you know what I was going to say when we were talking that She-Hulk annual was? Do you think Marvel plans stuff out ahead of time? Because remember last week we got the D23 announcement that Miss Marvel, Moon Knight, and She-Hulk are all getting Disney Plus series.
Yeah, and the acts of
Yeah, and then Acts of Evil, who are 3 characters who have annuals. Miss Marvel has her own book, but it's like She-Hulk and Moon Knight don't have their own ongoing series right now, but they got annuals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, of course, because I think that's very much their plan. I think they know who they want to they know who they want to put forward.
Oh yeah.
Although interesting enough, Moon Knight isn't in 1000.
Yeah.
But he might be in 1001.
True.
Because that may be kind of the point. It's like, you know what, we have too much to tell in this story. So I get the feeling like the next one, because at first I was thinking, maybe this is gonna. So I'm first reading, I didn't realize they were going to go all the way up to the modern era in it. But maybe like the next one would be, and here's the next 50 years, or the last 50 years. But I get the feeling the next one is going to be like the same concept, and then here's other stuff that was going on at the same time, and it's going to be like this puzzle piece to put it all together. Mm-hmm. But because there's just too much story to tell, and they made me happy to buy a $10 book.
Yeah. This one was worth it, but no code though.
No code, but you know what? It's a graphic novel. They don't put, that's the thing. This, I would not count, I would not expect a code. I mean, I'd like a code, don't get me wrong. But I would not expect a code in a hard bound book like this. Because, I mean, this has got to be at least as big as God Loves Man Kills. And, yeah, so I get why they wouldn't put a code in it. I mean, would love the code. Would love if there's maybe a secret code in here that, 6 months from now, oh, by the way, if you have that, go to this page and look at that thing. Yeah, type in those numbers. That's actually your code. No. When coding it right away, But yeah, no, I mean, there's just so much good there. And my comic book guy was right. This is the cover I would have picked myself because I love monsters and I love Howard the Duck. So.
Yeah, I got the '90s variant. Look, it looks like Infinity Gauntlet.
Oh yeah.
Although did you see the '80s variant that She-Hulk cover? That was awesome.
Oh no, I missed that one.
Yeah,
if I'd known there was a She-Hulk variant, I might have gotten that one. So
yeah, it's like her. It's like her in the '80s because there's even like black suit Spider-Man behind her. I think there's a Grey Hulk behind her, and what Thor looked like during that Simonson run. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I mean.
Oh, but I'm looking this up. Marvel 1001. It'll only be 40 pages, not 80.
Okay, but so it'll be $5 then.
Yes, $4.99. Yes.
Yeah, so there we go. That's fair. That's fair. I'll take the extra 40 pages, man. I'm in it for the long haul. I'm really loving this, and definitely going to get it on the pull list next week because why not? So this one, Year of the Villain, Justice League Dark. Okay. Yada yada yada. Basically, we have this storyline here where Wonder Woman has a horrible, horrible nightmare where she, and I don't know if that's supposed to be Zatanna's father or this other guy. Was it Winter something? But basically, when they all burst into flames when they were trying to go one step beyond, and he's saying, yeah, Zatanna can save us, but you will actually destroy us. So, does this whole thing about, because actually the Upside Down Man has aligned himself with, what's her name? Cersei.
Mm-hmm.
Who is a villain in this universe, because it's DC, not one of the Eternals. We got to talk that, because Cersei and the Black Knight. But we'll try to get to that. And all the vampires in this universe look like Joker for some reason. But we've got a little cabal of vampires that the Justice League Dark is facing. But like I said, in this, Zatanna's father is basically saying, Zatanna has the power to save us, but you have the power too. But your power could be easily corrupted, and if Cersei takes that power from you because it's bound to Hecate, it will destroy. We will lose the War of Magic, and that's why you can't be there. And then we see that the actual vampire weekend was caused by what's his name, Witch Boy, I think he goes by.
Clarion Boy, yeah.
Clarion the Witch Boy, which is cool. I haven't seen Clarion the Witch Boy in so long, so I didn't know he was blue. Has he always been blue?
Yeah, I think in a lot of and especially like the current stuff, he's been, yeah.
Yeah, because I know that when he was on Batman the Animated Series, he was just normal, scary British kid. But, there's, just nice stuff in this, and get a nice little sit down between Wonder Woman and Constantine. Again, if you're a fan of Constantine, I don't know why you're not reading this book. Because I do like, Constantine's story there, and the, self-destruct, which is, man, this is a gag I wrote years ago. The idea that smoking the cigarettes, that it's the self-destruction takes the edge off when you're dealing with demons. So, I mean, it's an obvious gag to do, but I get why he's doing it, and of course, Swamp Thing, and of course, everyone's like all depowered now. Swamp Thing, he isn't the Guardian of the Green anymore. Dr. Fate isn't really, the what do you call it? The avatar of Naboo. Yes, Naboo. And there's our witch boy and his little cat. He's all mad because they killed all his friends, all his pet vampires. So he puts a little curse on Man Bat, saying, "Why don't you make a serum to make it even scarier? So then they'll respect you." Like, yes, I'll get right on that. But this is the thing. This is where it's good. So we see Papa Midnight, who's joined the Injustice League Dark, along with several other magical villains. And do you know who that guy is there? That little zombie-looking dude?
Hard to
Grunny Money.
It's hard to see.
Yes. That is Solomon Grundy, all zombified, all decaying. And all this meat showing. That's interesting. All red, because one thing many people forget is Solomon Grundy's body is mostly made of wood.
Mm-hmm.
Solomon Grundy is bound to the plant life of, what is it, Suicide Swamp, Murder Swamp?
Is it Slaughter Swamp?
Slaughter Swamp. I was wondering if that's named after, Joe Slaughter, who was an upstanding businessman in the community. But you see, so Papa Midnight has turned all the tourists at the resort into his own zomboys, and then or zomboies, whatever you call it. I forget how to pronounce it in the original Haitian. But Solomon Grundy is also in this state. And then we see Woodrow, who's the new Floronic Man, who has the power of the Parliament of Flowers, because as we saw in the annual, since the Parliament of the Green was destroyed, the Parliament of Flowers is taking over. But the Parliament of Flowers is inherently transitional. And so we see Cersei, she's got her whole steampunk, again, jokery kind of concept, steampunk Harley Quinn, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band look going, as she's uniting the villains. But here's the thing. Who is going to save us all? It won't be a hero. It is going to be Solomon Grundy. Because Solomon Grundy is going to become the new avatar of the Green. he is going to become the new Avatar, and maybe they won't call it the Green, or maybe it's going to be the whole of the Green, not just the trees, not just the flowers, but the whole of the Web of Life, because Solomon Grundy is of the swamp.
Mm-hmm.
And he maybe was always meant to be. Maybe he was meant to be the first Avatar of the Green, but that, for whatever reasons, he was never able to ascend to the way he was supposed to be. So my big prediction is Solomon Grundy, like the Man-Thing, the Nexus of All Realities. Solomon Grundy is going to come at the end. He's going to be the hero because he's going to be like, no, life is stronger than either the Dark Magics or the Lords of Order. I am the Web of Life. I am Solomon Grundy, and I am the hero of this universe needs and deserves. So that's my big prediction, DC. I'm giving that to you for free.
Yeah.
So hopefully you already wrote it down. It's like, no, we had that. Yeah, of course. I mean, he figured it out. He's a smart guy, that Professor Esser. But yeah, no, that's totally what we're doing. So.
All right, and I told you should have read Spider-Man Life Story number 6.
Yes, I'm sorry, I ran out of time, but tell me why I should read it, Philip. And why all of our listeners should read it.
Well, this catches up to present day 2019.
Mm-hmm.
Because the last issue was the first decade of the 2000s, and we got it was Civil War. This time, they're saying, "Oh yeah, I guess the public got fed up with heroes fighting heroes and all this other garbage. So hey, guess who swooped in and took control of the planet?
Dr. Doom.
Yep.
Otto Octavius. Oh, Dr. Doom. Okay.
Although you never see him in this issue. They keep bringing him up, but you never see him in this issue.
Yeah.
So at the beginning of the issues, Peter and Miles are going up to one of Tony Stark's old space stations because they have some kind of EMP thing or something that can take out Doom's tech, all over the world.
Okay.
So they're going up to do that, and then they get attacked. Remember the symbiote, the Venom symbiote, bonded with Kraven.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Decades ago, yeah. So it attacks them, but Peter's got some kind of sonic thing on his hand, so he basically looks like he kills the symbiote, and all that's in there is a skeleton, because
Because it ate up all what was. Well, Kraven was pretty far gone at the end of that. By the end of that, anyway. So yeah.
Yeah, it was decades ago, but So Miles is standing there, and he goes, wait, it was just a skeleton, and Peter looks at him and says, all my old enemies are dead. Just gives him a dead stare and goes, isn't that right, Otto?
Oh, to Miles.
Yeah.
Oh.
Pulled a superior in Miles's body.
Oh, isn't that interesting?
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised that Otto had the guile to keep that charade up.
Yeah, because on one page before that happened, he calls him Parker, and I was like, wait, what?
Ah. Dun dun dun.
And then there's a big fight in their, they're fighting in their minds.
Oh gosh, mind fights.
And then
yeah.
And then how does he finally bring Otto down in his head?
How does he do it?
With a memory of Aunt May.
Oh. Otto loved her, man.
Oh yeah, especially in this, yeah.
Yeah, always loved her. That's the thing, man. Otto, it's just, which tells you there was something special about that Aunt May. Even before they had to sexy her up, she was, 23 Skidoo, man. She was a player back in her day. She was a goer. So.
Before I actually never knew Colossus had superpowers. Before I just thought he had super strength.
Oh, well, that is a superpower. Is super strength.
No, I just thought he was just super strong because he went to the gym.
Oh, you just thought he was super strong because he went to the gym. Well, no, Colossus actually is made of metal, and that would be your first clue that he has superpowers.
How is he able to bend then?
It's as you see, it's metal bands, so clearly it's somehow jointed. I don't know. They really don't.
Did I say Colossus? I meant Juggernaut.
Oh, Juggernaut. Okay. Oh, okay. That's different. However, they both were avatars of Cetrek at a point, because unfortunately, Cetrek's true avatar, Scott Summers, got bonked on the head and does not have the control of his powers. Dang it.
But yeah, so anyway, Peter sacrifices himself to do this thing because it blows up the space station, and then we see Mary Jane at the end give Miles Peter's suit. She's like, you can modify it if you want, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. So she gives it to Superior Miles.
Well, no, because Miles has his brain back because he goes to Otto in his iron lung, and
Yeah.
Because Miles is like, you stole so much of my life. He's like, I want to kill you. He's like, but Peter wouldn't want me to, so I'm just gonna let you sit here and sulk in your iron lung.
Yep. And again, yeah, because did Otto think he was Miles when he was in the iron lung, or we didn't get that?
No, they didn't show that. No.
Didn't do the rewrite of his own brain. Yeah. Oh, Otto. Otto, what are you gonna do?
Then the issue ends so beautifully. Because in the beginning, Peter was telling Mary Jane he was having the same dream, and she's like, "Oh, we can talk about it later." But it's like, it's about the night, the burglar got away, and she's like, "Oh, that again?" He's like, "No." At the end, it's like, "No. This was a good dream that shows him stopping the burglar."
Yeah, that's actually not a good dream, because we saw that in What If Spider-Man had stopped the burglar, and he just becomes a real jerk, and but he gets a talk show. Like
you know that.
I know, but he should know that. That's all I'm saying.
I know.
And of course, big prediction about the new Joker film. Watch for it. Robert De Niro is the Joker. You think it's the other guy, but Robert De Niro, you gotta remember, they're echoing King of Comedy, where Robert De Niro was an unhinged guy who steals the show, literally, by kidnapping him from Jerry Lewis. And I think this is just the natural evolution of that. And he's like, yep, nope, I was always the crazy killer. You're just a guy in clown makeup. I'm a crazy man.
Hey, lady.
And actually, for what it's worth, there is actually a tie-in to what has been said about where the current actor for the guy who's supposed to be the Joker got his laugh from, which is that he based it off of people, because he watched videos and started this condition called hysterical laughter, which is people who just can't help but laugh. It's almost like a variation on Tourette's, where you just have these outbursts of laughter, apropos of nothing, which also could mean that he's not crazy. He just keeps on laughing. And when Robert De Niro kills Batman's parents and falls into a vat of acid, then we're gonna know what's going on. I tell you, man, you watch it. Mark my words. Robert De Niro kills Batman's parents, and he is the real Joker at the end of it.
Oh, man.
Yeah, you watch. Okay. You know what? Because they gotta put it up there with the Jack Nicholson Joker.
Ah.
And they needed another actor that can be that level of crazy and evil. And De Niro, pretty much a slightly younger Jack Nicholson.
You talking to me?
Talking to me? Are you talking to me? You should be talking to me. I got a lot to say. Okay, Philip, that is enough of that. We got to do the next show, because I'm sure Lil is saying, where are you guys? I'm trying to start. But she's always on time and punctual and ready to go. You can ask me the question in the next show, Tristan. We got to do our outros. Philip, how can they find you?
You can always email me, nightwingpdp@gmail.com, on email, and that Twitter @nightwingpdp. And you can also follow Superconnectivity on Facebook, on Twitter @SuperConnectPod. Call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES.
And of course, you can always write to me that old-fashioned email way the way our moms and paws once did. At superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That's superconnectivityblog, all one word, @gmail.com. And of course, follow me on the Twitters as I live tweet all kinds of things, including maybe Disney Plus, because they are releasing those on a weekly schedule. At Charlie Esser, that's CHARLIE.
Yes,
ESSER.
look for trees and look for quality.
For quality.
There we go. Hope you guys all heard that. That's Tristan. That's my backup voice, who will be coming with us on the 21st. And David Buster's in, so he'll be a part of the show. Ben will be there too, but he may not talk much, because he's got his own world. Anyway, but we'll see what happens. Tune in for that special live episode of Capes and Lunatics. And probably Superconnectivity too. Who knows?
Oh yeah, maybe, yeah.
Okay, and now that's our outro music.
Dude, all
I hope it gives you all comfort, the way that the intro music does. Is that the same music?
Yeah, it's a little shorter, but yeah, it's kind of the same. It's the same move.
So I like that theremin in there. It reminds me of Doctor Who.
That's from Rob Southgate.
No, he plays the theremin. Yeah,